Hello, my name is Doug Hall. I've lived in Arkansas all of my life. I'm from Hot Springs. I have had a very high PSA for all of my adult life. Went to see our PCP and he said that this PSA is really too high. Sent me to a urologist in Hot Springs who thought I had to have a biopsy, and the biopsy turned out kind of odd, and he was ready to do a prostatectomy back in 2018. After that, we decided we needed to go to a different urologist, so we came to Arkansas Urology and got much better results. So we've been here since, or I've been here since 2019, where we've had several checkups, but recently I had blood in my urine caused by extreme exertion and also my prostate being very, very large. And after that, the doctor requested that I really consider a partial prostatectomy. He also did a CT scan and a scope of my bladder to be sure that I had no problems with cancer, which turned out to be really good news. But he said I still needed to have that prostatectomy because my prostate was so large. A TURP was not an option because my prostate was too big. So he suggested the prostatectomy. So we went to see the surgeon that was going to do that, and he looked at me and thought, you know, you're too young and too active to have a procedure like this that has the potential for several side effects. We talked about the PAE. We saw the poster on the wall, and my wife and I had already been investigating that and researching as much as we could about the potential side effects of all of the different procedures that were an option. So we decided we really wanted the PAE because it seemed the most non-invasive or less invasive than anything else. And so then we saw Dr. Meeks and got that scheduled and got it performed as soon as possible. Okay, so Dr. Meek and her staff, we had the consultation, I think about 4 days before the procedure, and they were so informative. They were very organized. Everything went on time. They explained all of the potential side effects and what kind of meds I would take to afterwards for the recovery, and everything was like clockwork. It was amazing that they were that accurate and knew exactly what was happening, so it was very helpful to me, and I respect their opinion a lot. So before I had the PAE, I had problems with frequent trips to the bathroom. I would never empty my bladder, so it was like a continuous pattern. I'd come and go and come and go, and so traveling was really a pain. It was very annoying because we would have to stop quite a bit, and I was getting up in the middle of the night 1, 2, maybe 3 times, and so things were just difficult. I was also taking Flomax to help with that urination problem, so that was something. But what really got the ball rolling was the blood in the urine from overexertion. I really like working out, running, water skiing, and working in the yard, so everything I do was pretty much got a lot of exertion, so I was getting the blood in the urine was really getting to be a problem. So after we saw Dr. Meeks and got the PAE scheduled, then we were very relieved, and the procedure went fantastic because Dr. Meeks herself and all of her staff were extremely informative, told us about any potential side effects, told us about the recovery and anything that might happen during the recovery, which was very light symptoms. And so we got the procedure scheduled and had it done. The procedure went very well, and it went exactly as they said, so that was very nice. So from the time we walked in the door until the time my wife was taking me home was about 4 hours. No hospital stay, which would occur with any of the other procedures. You know, you're going to be in the hospital for 2 or 3 days. So that was another huge advantage to us for the PAE. So anyway, 4 hours later, we're on our way home, got home, and I would compare it similar to a colonoscopy. Very light anesthesia, so you're not really knocked out. As a matter of fact, Dr. Meek and I were talking quite a bit about water skiing while she was doing the procedure. So we got home that afternoon, and I slept most of the afternoon, and everything was great. Got up the next morning and thought, wow, that was a piece of cake, and I'm ready to go. Well, thank goodness for my wife, and she kept me calm. Stayed in the house, read books, watched TV, and just kind of took it easy for the day. But then, let's see, so then that was the next day. I woke up and they said that you might get flu-like symptoms, which I did. I woke up and felt like I had the flu. And I thought, whoa, this is terrible. So I really had a lot of aches and just like the flu. So went back to bed and pretty much slept the entire day on the second day after the surgery. So then I woke up the next day and I'm like, felt like $1,000,000. All that great rest, and I had already started urinating better. It's like it was an instant thing, and I kind of thought it would take a while for it to take effect, and maybe it did, but it felt like it went really quick. So the third day was a big turnaround, and so my wife had to really put the grips on me and keep me calm for a couple more weeks, which it was probably 2 weeks before I felt like I was 100%. And it wasn't like one day I was good and the next day, it just not flipping a switch. But gradually I got back to my full routine, but within 2 weeks I was back to water skiing, taking care of the yard, working out pretty hard, and just kind of took it easy until finally I was 100%. And it's been a great life ever since. So one other thing I forgot to mention was that I said earlier that I was on Flomax. Well, that's no longer a problem, so I don't have to take one of the drugs. So any prescription drugs are kind of fading away. So that's another positive thing that's happened. For anybody that's considering a PAE, I would say go for it 100%. I think a lot of my concerns was intimate relation problems, because that was extremely important to me, and it was probably a higher risk with all of the other procedures, even a TURP. But with this, the side effects were less, and less likely to cause intimate problems. And I can tell you it did not. That part is working fantastic, so it's a really big plus and another reason to go with this procedure. I know it's nerve-wracking because it's a pretty personal thing, but it has turned my life around, and I would highly encourage you to do it. I would 100% do the PAE again, especially with Dr. Meek and her staff, because it was just fantastic. It's been a life-changing event, and there's no doubt that this is the way to go.